Previously on Taverns and Caverns Path B, after dealing with Bertio and his men up top, we decided to go deeper in the cave. And to our surprise, we find more guards and, I think prisoners? Oh no, they're just miners, but after hearing their wages, might as well be prisoners. Turns out Bertio's the type of man that would make Zatia proud. I think he's just a cheap bastard, but anywho, decided to go down and talk to the gods. That didn't work. We had to get into a fight. But after a few casualties, we locked the rest of them up, gave the miners some advice, and headed back up to talk to Bertio. He and Nomu decided to come to an agreement. I didn't like it, because I don't trust him, but I have to go on Nomu's word on this one. And at least the giants are safe, so that's a plus. So after all this craziness, hopefully Uros will let us get a good rest after we head back into town. Cause once morning comes, we're hitting the open road. Episode 36, Waybranch Crossing, Path Bay.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of Taverns and Caverns, everyone. This is your Dungeon Master, Haphazard DM. Last time on TNC Path B, Nomu, Yalar, and Relanoa did combat with some of Bertio's men inside of the cave that they were supposed to deliver the quote-unquote stone giant to. Fortunately for the party, they were able to defeat the remaining men that were stationed at that cave, with that small mining facility where most of the workers ended up leaving unharmed. They weren't necessarily evil, they were just there for pay. But some of the guardsmen that did battle against the party were defeated, and they were thrown into a cell that was unlocked. But the party spoke with Bertio and essentially made a deal with him to let Bertio live. Bertio would leave Manavik and stop searching for giants in the area. Unfortunately for Nomu, Bertio mentioned that Lord Butterfrin, who is Bertio's master, is the one that is indeed wanting the stone giant, and that if Lord Butterfrin was to find out of Nomu's name, that could mean trouble for Nomu's family. So Nomu decided to not harm Bertio and to let him live. But in terms of how Bertio is going to convince Lord Butterfrin that Manavik is no longer a great spot for poaching giants, that's up for Bertio to discuss with Lord Butterfrin, because I don't know how that conversation is going to go. Because Lord Butterfrin, when he wants something, he gets it. Isn't that right, Rob?
Facts.
So Bertio is probably walking back sweating, stressed, just as stressed as he was when they were snooping on him, having that discussion about finding a giant.
Yep.
Trying to come up with a way that sounds good to explain to Lord Butterfrin that the mission has gone south. And they're going to have to stop looking, at least in this area. But that's where we left off. The party was just now leaving the area outside of that cave, heading back to the town of Manavik. And the party's pretty hurt right now. Rob mentioned it at the beginning of our recording here, or not before the recording, that you guys are hurt.
We're hurt.
Yalar's at 8 HP, Relano's at 19, Nomu's at 16 from what I'm seeing. So yeah, he wasn't joking. But the good news is we're going to do some fast traveling beginning of this session, and the party is going to be able to make it back to Manavik, which wasn't very far anyways from the current location that they were at. But before we begin, I want to mention to our viewers and our listeners, apologies if my voice sounds off. My allergies are kicking my ass today. My nose is stuffy. I feel clouded. All of the above. So forgive my voice if it sounds iffy today. But that being the case, the party eventually makes their way back to the town of Manavik. It's still day, so you have time to discuss and do what you want before heading back to the inn to rest. Is there anything the two or three of you are doing once you return to Manavik? Are you going to inform the authorities of what you had found at the cave? Because you guys did throw all those guardsmen in the cage. The cage that was meant for the giant, but you left it unlocked. You didn't want them to die in there. But I didn't know if you guys were going to tell the authorities about this place or if you guys were going to ignore that or what you guys were doing. Because now that Bertio has been taken care of in this area, truthfully, Nomu and Yalar can continue their adventure south into the further woodland portion of Asia, which again, the nation of Asia is 90 to 95% woodlands. Strider Valley is one of the very few locations in this nation that is not taken over by vast woodlands. And remember, Relanoa is attempting to make her way to a southern town known as Wildrun, which is a bit before Rava's Grove, which is where Nomu was heading to.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I remember, the two of you agreed that you'd probably make your way to Wildrun first with Relanoa so she can get her mission accomplished, and then the two of you would continue into Rava's Grove. But what are the two of you doing? I'll leave that to the party.
Well, as far as Noma's concerned, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to inform the authorities because he wants to kind of avoid any traces that could be led back to Bertio's name being used, which would be adverse effect on Nomu's family.
This is quite a possibility, knowing Lord Butterfree. Yes. So you're just not going to speak at all to the
Yeah, he's
guards
gonna
or anything.
ignore it. Doesn't exist anymore. He forgot.
All right. What's Yalar? What's going on in Yalar's mind right now as you step back into the bustling town of Manavik?
Um, so we gonna tell the gods about them people back in that cave?
Guards about what?
Oh, um, noted.
Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. But let's continue on.
Relno looks at Yalar, then at Nomu. What? Nomu, so you don't want to tell the guards about what just happened? You want to leave those guys in that cage?
What cage? What guards?
She looks at Yalar. Something wrong with Nomu, Yalar? Did you cast a spell on him? Forget.
No, but I think he's saying I don't know how to word this.
Listen, the sooner we forget that anything happened in that cave, the sooner I can keep my family safer. I don't want Bertio's name ending up in, well, a guard's logbook.
Ah, I see where you're getting with this. Bertio mentioned something about your family, didn't he? Is he holding them hostage, Nomu?
No. But Lord Butterfree could do something if he gets angry.
I see. So this is all to protect your family, then.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I guess we taught them a good lesson. Bertio's not going to be poaching. At least I hope he doesn't continue after we leave. Let's hope he's a man of his word, right? He said he would stop, right?
At least here.
Oh, well, let's hope he keeps his promise then, because I don't have much else to do here in the town of Manavik. I don't know about you two, but you got your equipment from that Yurindur blacksmith guy, right? So there's nothing
Ye-
else for us to do here. We can continue on,
Yep.
unless there's anything else you need to do, Yalar.
No. This town's getting a little too hot for me.
A little
It's
too.
hot.
Did you say hot, Yalar?
Yeah, I said hot. I can not getting around to my I'm afraid I might be catching a little bit too much attention.
Too much attention. All right, we should probably get out of here then before we hear the narrator say something about a chapter titled called "Bury My Shell at Wounded Knee."
Oh, we don't want that. Sally Porter.
Love that game. Trolls of Time.
Yep.
Stage 1. Bury my shell at Wounded Knee. Oh, childhood memories. Sorry, guys. So, with that being the case, then you all are still pretty beat up. So you have the rest of the day and evening to get a full night's rest if you want to do that prior to heading out. I'm assuming that's what you guys are gonna do.
I think it'd be best.
Yeah, it's gonna lay low.
All right. Last thing he wants to continue traveling, and after that giant fight and something coming across you on the pathway.
Right.
All right. So, with that being the case, the party is able to make their way back to the inn that they've been staying at here in Manavik. Unless there's anything else you want to do before the day ends, I'll say you guys are able to get a full night's rest, so you're fully healed
Oh
with
yes.
all of your spells back.
Oh, beautiful.
All right. And then 1 second, let me heal up Relino as well. With the party sleeping and getting a full night's rest, nothing particularly weird happens or alarming throughout the rest of the night or day. Bertio, where no one else is trying to stalk you, at least not that you are aware of. But as the party rests for the evening, the next day comes, and it's a beautiful morning. The sun's out, the birds are singing and chirping, and the path south into the woodlands of Ossia is open for you. And remember, you all have horses now. So, is there anything you want to prepare or shop for before leaving?
Now there is a thing I want to say I did while right before I slept. I have it on my notes.
What's that?
No one said he was going to check Bertio's ring. I had a 15 Arcana roll. Said he was going to do it after the investigation of the cave.
Oh, okay. 1 second. 1 second. You have a you said 15?
Yeah, I had a 15 Arcana roll.
All right. 1 minute. Let me pull up something.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. All right. So you're doing that before you sleep, right?
Yeah.
All right. So as you study that ring, you're attempting to try and figure out what type of ring it is. And with a 15 Arcana roll, you definitely get the sense of magic. And because you're an Eldritch Knight, you do understand parts of magic and some of magic, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
compared to someone that doesn't cast magic at all. But as you study this ring, you do get the sense that it is indeed a magical ring. And what this ring does, it gives you an ability. And this ability allows you, well, I should say, let's just describe what this ring does.
Uh-oh.
And it's a rare ring. It will require attunement, which I would say with your 15 Arcana, you would understand that. And attunement means you have to spend time attuning yourself to this item. And once you are attuned to it, pretty much no one else can attune to it other than you,
Mm-hmm.
unless you allow it. You can only attune yourself to so many magical items that you hold.
Yeah.
But in this case, the ring hums faintly with a residual sound as you investigate the ring. And it's called Ring of the Echoing Step. Once per short rest, when you take the dash action, you can become invisible until the start of your next turn or until you attack or cast a spell. While invisible this way, your movement leaves behind faint echoes. Creatures that try to track you by sound have disadvantage. It also grants you a +5 to your movement speed while attuned to the ring. It's called the Ring of Echoing Step.
All right.
Is that something you wish to attune yourself to? Or do you want to hold on to it for other reasons?
So is it like after like an after image or something? Is that what I'm gathering here?
If that's how you want to describe it, yes. It just leaves like faint echoes of
Mm-hmm.
sound. So if you want to describe it as leaving an after image, that works too. But it's more so that it leaves a faint echo with each step. Like think of like if you're shuffling leaves
Mm-hmm.
or something, it just leaves echoes of the sound. But if you wanted it to leave like a slight image, like translucent image of you as you're running and disappearing, that works too.
That could actually come in handy.
So I will leave that up to you if that's something you'd like to attune yourself to.
I'll hold on to it. I'll hold on to it.
Okay. Okay.
Is it once per day?
Once per short rest.
Okay, short rest. That's what it was.
Yep, once per short rest. Got it.
All right. Thank you.
Remember, the limit of attuned items you can have to your character is a
Mm-hmm.
maximum of 3. So,
Gotcha.
all right. So, with that being the case, that's basically what you find with Bertio's ring, sneaky bastard. He didn't really get a chance to use it because you guys fucked him up ASAP. Poor guy. So, that being the case, anything you guys do in the morning before you head out?
Nope.
Lars, or anything you want to do?
No, I think he's got enough coffee. Last him for a while.
Okay. So the 3 of you meet in the lobby of the inn. And as the 3 of you do, you guys step outside into the sunlight. It's fairly early morning, probably about 8 o'clock in the morning by the time you're all packed and ready to go. You eventually take hold of your horses at the stables and you begin to follow the main path out of Manavik, heading south into the woodlands of Ossia. And Manavik, again, is in about central to southern, more southern than central of Strider Valley. But you know it's going to be about a day or so away from the woodlands of Ossia. So you'll be following this path for quite some time. But as you follow the main path, you occasionally come across other travelers. This is one of the main roads that people will take from Londe, heading through Strider Valley to get to the woodlands of Ossia. Now, Wildrun, as you're heading south, it's going to be to the east of where you're heading to. Directly south of you is Rava's Grove, if you were to continue going straight south. So
Mm-hmm.
Wildrun is a bit of a... It's not that much of a detour for you guys, but it will probably take an extra day or so for you to hit up Wildrun instead of going straight to Rava's Grove. But that's up to the 2 of you if you wish to accompany Relinoa to Wildrun or not. That's her destination.
I'd rather
So,
help her get there safely.
Yeah.
right. Okay. So, with that being in mind, as I've mentioned, you are greeted by other travelers and merchants, even druids that might be walking the main path. And this is something that the 2 of you are well aware of. Again, as I've mentioned, Ossia is one of the oldest nations in Tirister. Essentially, it's the second oldest nation after the dwarven nation Virbaldur. However, Ossia, the land of Ossia, has been much more populated for far longer than the nation of Virbaldur. The only reason that Ossia is considered the second nation, oldest nation, is because during the time of the Great Vitalis Tree and all the people living in Ossia, it wasn't called Ossia. It wasn't technically a nation per se. Virbaldur and the dwarves were the first to actually claim land and call it a nation. Ossia was second to that after that fact. But Ossia is considered the oldest land here in Tirister. At least the oldest land that people have lived on. So it's a very ancient land. You 2 of you know that it is well protected by the druids of Ossia, and so as you walk this main path, you will occasionally come across druids, whether they are in their humanoid form or if they are in some type of animal form. You might occasionally come across a panther or perhaps a cougar that's walking down the main path, maybe even a wolf that glances your way and then just ignores you. Your
Mhm.
guesses are probably it's a druid. But we'll get more into the druids of Ossia when you get to the woodlands area of it. Like, as I've mentioned, Strider Valley is mainly half giants, which is the Orankin, as well as giants and whatnot. there are two major points in the nation of Ossia that are not consumed by forests and trees, and that's Strider Valley. And there is also an opening to the north of the nation, just south of Wande, along the Irish River called Stargazer's Point, which is an open field with an ancient facility known as Stargazer's Point, which is where druids go to gaze upon the stars during certain nights. But with that being the case, the party eventually makes their way to the woodlands of Ossia. And as you follow that path, you can now only see vast lands filled with trees, all different shapes and sizes. The trees are so thick and they cover the sunlight from above. The canopies are blocking some of the sunlight in the opening where the path continues into this forest, but all you can see is trees for miles. And this is to be expected. The trees, some of them are so high that you can't even see past this forest at this point. Some trees stand at 50 feet.
Damn.
Yeah, some of these trees are massive. Now, many of the towns, villages, and cities in Ossia are made out of the trees. You're not going to find very many stone housing. You're not going to find a lot of city-like areas like you would in Londe, like New Tempest or Stratham per se. You're not going to see a lot of that concrete, brick, or any of that type of material. Most of the housing and buildings are made out or into the trees. And there's going to be a lot of clay structures as well as underground structures. So it's very nature-like here, obviously, being in the woodlands. So
Hmm.
when you enter the woodlands, there is a sign that sticks out on the side of the main dirt path that you follow. And this is a wooden sign that has some stones all around it and vines that are beginning to take over the font of this sign. But on the sign, it mentions, or I should say, it shows a couple of arrows. And these arrows are pointing you in specific directions. And the sign that heads straight south, or that shows straight south, the arrow points to a particular area called Waybranch Crossing. And Waybranch Crossing is an, a small, it's not even a village, it's more of a small little area that's meant for traveling merchants, traveling druids, and whatever. It's a camping ground that's considered temporary for most of the people that use it, but it is a place that is always there that the residents of take turns using. So no one ever really lives in Waybranch Crossing. It's more so you'll find some tents that have been pitched up by travelers and or some stalls that many people will share and use as they travel. It's a pit stop for many people that are leaving Strider Valley or leaving the woodlands heading north. But that sign points to Waybranch Crossing, which is going to take you to a great place to rest for the night and whatnot. But then the sign also points to the west and the east. And on that sign, it has to the west, it's called, let me find my other map real quick. And it's a place you do typically want to avoid.
Uh-oh.
If I can find my map. Where is my map? Oh, yes. To the west and east, you have Lake Serenity is to the west, which would be pointing to the right since you're heading south. To the east of you, it's going to show the Wailing Mists. Make me some history checks.
You got it. Ooh, 8.
Oof. All right.
Hang
What
on a
does
second.
22? Nomu, you don't necessarily know much about Serenity Lake
Mhm.
or the Wailing Mists, but I'll say, Yalar, you've already traveled through Ossia, Yalar, to get to where you met Nomu. Because Ylar, if you remember when you were with your old party, your prior party,
Oh, yes.
Eska and the others, you were actually further south. So you had to travel north to even meet Nomu. So you're kind of heading back, kind of towards the way you came from. So you would know and understand these areas fairly well. To the west, Lake Serenity is the largest lake in the nation of Ossia. It's in the center of the nation, and I should say, one of the biggest towns in Ossia is located near the lake, which is called Oak Falls. And then to the east is the Wailing Mist, which is considered a place that many people will avoid with whatever they can. It is used to be a an open field of land that was corrupted by magical sources. So the land has been engulfed in what's called the Wailing Mists for quite some time now. And many people that venture into Wailing Mists never return or never come out.
I ain't going in there.
It's a
There's a-
place that many people will avoid at all costs. But
yeah.
to the south is Wayward Crossing, which would be towards where you want to head to get some good night's rest. So as the three of you sit there, not Eska, I almost said Eska.
Mhm.
Rillanoa looks around and she looks up at the trees. Wow, these trees are massive, Yalar. You said you walked through here already? How did you find your way out of this place?
I just kind of let fate take me.
You just let fate take you? Now, I hear Ossia is mostly 90%, if not more, woodlands. If it's like this for most of the country or the nation, I don't know how people get around. I mean, I guess druids know their way around and things, but I guess you learn maybe the stars. But I feel like look how thick that canopy is. How do you even see the stars from down here?
Right. It's too thick.
I mean, it's kind of like the swamps, but not as tall. Mm, Much
I
drier.
Well, I've never been here to Ossia. This is gonna be my first time, so this is kind of exciting. I've heard a lot of good things of Ossia, though. And with you guys going to Rava's Grove, I mean, Rava's Grove is like a city within itself. That's the biggest and most ancient tree Ossia has to offer. How about you,
I,
Nomu? Have you been here before?
No.
Never. I
Never
think
seen trees this big.
your claws might help you in climbing these trees.
Kind of pops his claws out, looks at him,
well,
nods.
I would be careful about that.
Why is that?
Some of the druids kind of frown upon, climbing trees and things like that.
Why?
Um, I don't know.
Well, it's with his claws, which is nature. Like animals do it, right?
I guess certain trees, I guess, but I don't know which one. So
Oh, this is true. We might want to be careful
better,
of what type of
yeah,
trees we come
better safe than
across.
sorry.
This is true. I do hear the druids are pretty strict when it comes to protecting the land of Ossia and anything nature.
I'll keep it in mind.
Yes, definitely no setting fires. I think that'll get us killed.
No,
Smokey,
only you could prevent forest fires.
yeah, Smokey the bear will come out and snuff us out.
Wait, so we eat our food cold?
I mean, I think it's okay to have fire as long as we don't burn the trees down.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
No, I don't either. We'd have our heads. They'd have our heads.
Yeah, I don't really want to piss off a druid.
So, Yilar, you've been here before. So, this place called Wayward's Crossing, is that like what is that?
I'll try to remember. It's kind of scratch his head. Let's see, what?
Is there food there? Can we rest?
Yeah, we could rest there. Try to remember what was anything really special about that place.
I mean, not necessarily. It's just a good place to rest for you to meet other travelers and merchants if you need to trade for goods and whatnot. It's more of a pit stop place than anything else.
Okay. You kind of say that. He also mentioned don't head to the east as long
What's
as we
east?
stay someplace you don't want to go.
There's a lot of places I don't want to go. Be specific.
Um, unless you just want to go there and never return.
That don't
Stay
sound
away.
good.
Yeah, the sign says east to the Wailing Mists. The name sounds ominous. Miss that whale?
Yeah, I never been, but I heard not so pleasant things about that place.
I mean, if the mist is wailing at you, that's kind of creepy. I've never really heard much about the wailing mist. I don't know much about it. But I think we avoid it if that's what Yalar says.
Yeah, I'm not going there.
It's not on our destination paths anyways. Plus, Wildrun shouldn't be too far from here. I think Wildrun's probably maybe a few days from here. So
Look,
on our way to the Waybranch crossing then?
yep, onward.
All right. Yalar, you lead the way since you've been here.
Okay.
So you head south into the thicket of the woodlands, and your environment is immediately changed. You're no longer in the open fields of a valley with mountains surrounding you on each side. You're now surrounded by trees, bushes, owls, squirrels. So as you are walking through this forest, you eventually make your way to the Waybranch crossing. It's not hard to find. It's not very far from where the sign was, but it's off to the side. It veers off to the side. There's another path and a sign that says Waybranch crossing. And essentially, it's a woodland clearing where paths diverge like branches, and the travelers pause before the wild takes over. So it's a good resting point, as I've mentioned. And with it, as you guys step towards the Waybranch crossing, think of it as a small communal campsite used by wanderers, traders, pilgrims, and wild folk and whatever. It's not really a village, like I've said, but it is well known. It's a neutral resting ground kept safe by old forest wards and travelers' traditions. So many people understand that this is a neutral place. No one is to cause a scene here, or it is frowned upon by everyone because everyone uses this place. And again, here, you can find goods that are traded. You can find rumors to exchange with others, stories that can be shared between travelers and whatnot. But as you get to Waybranch Crossing, it's out in the open. It's a small little field that is not completely covered by all of the trees. There's still trees up above, but you can see the sunlight and stars if you were to be in Wayward Crossing or Waybranch Crossing. But when you get there, there's a couple of camps set up that are all over the place. Again, or tents, I should say. These tents are not owned by any one person. They're shared between people that come and go. But there's a couple of wooden stalls as well, and a couple of people sitting around this campfire and whatnot. Some people are having conversations. But as you take a quick glance around, make a perception check.
Yep. Oh.
24 and a 13. Nomu with a 24. Ilara with a 13. As you guys glance around, you see there's probably a good, I'd say 20 to 30 people that are in this area that are talking or sleeping or doing whatever. But you do notice with the 24 and 13, there are a couple of people that stand out. You see, there looks to be a human that is standing next to a small stew pot and a herbal drink station. And she seems to be cooking and brewing some goods. And she's, again, human with red hair. And then you see a half orc that looks as if he's dressed for traveling. He looks fairly peaceful. He's sitting down alone, kind of meditating to himself. He looks like a half orc type of a pilgrim, perhaps of some kind, perhaps even a monk. You just don't
Mm-hmm.
know. But he seems to be sitting there peacefully, just meditating. And then you also happen to see what looks like a peddler, a halfling peddler, who's trying to trade for some goods, whether it's for gold or just trading goods for goods. He's over there just talking to people, holding his goods out. And then you also see a wood elf courier who is just standing there sitting, or I should say standing there sitting, who's just sitting there reading a book. And as you look around, no one seems to look shady by any means. No one looks dangerous. Everyone seems to be pretty open with one another, sticking to themselves. As you three step into Wayward Crossing, what do you do? Or I keep saying Wayward, Waybranch Crossing.
Yeah. uh, I guess Gnome's gonna lift his nose up and smell what was cooking.
What's cooking?
Yep.
What's the alarm doing?
Um, he's gonna kind of walk around a little bit, say hello, kind of get the feel of the area.
All right, Relno will do the same. As the three of you walk and look around, some of the people realize and notice you stepping in, and they all send a little wave to you. Again, no one seems to be dangerous by any means. Now, not to say none of these people can fight, but no one here is trying to start trouble. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
I said this is a neutral place. Everyone's welcome. And Nomu, you walk up to the lady that is cooking. She's human. Again, she's at this herbal drink station and cooking some food. She looks up at you and she smiles. Ah, welcome, traveler. Are you here to stop and rest at Waybranch Crossing?
Yes.
Oh.
What are you cooking?
Oh, I'm cooking right now. I am brewing a pot for some of the herbal drinks that I'm preparing for my travels, but I am also willing to trade some of these herbal drinks to those that would like a warm drink that will keep them warm in the middle of the night. I'm also cooking some delicious stew.
Oh, stew. Is it? What kind of stew?
It is mostly vegetable stew, but I do have some elk inside of it.
Oh, it's a good thing you mentioned that he was frowning. She said vegetable. He frowned.
Would you like some stew, traveler?
Yes, but how much? For a bowl.
Well, Tala Red Hands Vereen doesn't trade for gold here in Asia. I like to trade goods for goods. What kind of goods would you happen to have on you? Gold doesn't do me much here in Asia. I prefer items of ingredients or other goods I could use.
Well, I do have some goods, but it may be too expensive for a bowl.
Like what?
He reaches into a side pack and pulls up a small sphere. That's a moonstone.
Ah, she looks down at the moonstone. I know exactly what that is, a moonstone. Well, you're right. The moonstone is quite a valuable, precious thing. I wouldn't trade that for a bowl of stew here. I'll tell you what. If you don't have much to trade for, how about Tala Vereen gives you a free bowl of stew for the night?
I can't take it for free. How about some silver bolts?
Sure, if you don't mind parting from some of those, I would gladly take some of those. I'm sure I could find use for those at some point.
He slides her 4 silver bolts.
She pours a deliciously smelling stew into a wooden bowl and offers it to you.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
He plops down on the ground and eats immediately.
As you eat the bowl, it tastes delicious. The elk is well seasoned, and Nomu is going to be a happy kitty for the rest of the evening.
It melts in your mouth. Ah!
And Yolar, as you're walking around, what are you doing?
Uh, you're not doing anything really special. Um, just again, like I said, he's looking around. He's actually gonna kind of maybe see if he could find like 3 tents or campsites for us to rest for the night.
Make an investigation check. An 11. As you're looking around the Waybranch crossing area, you do notice some of the tents have been occupied. You can see people are placing things inside the tents. Typically, if a tent's empty, that means no one's occupied it. But there happens to be a couple of tents off to the side on the outskirts of the area that are not taken. And there's just enough for each and every single one of you.
He will start kind of making claim to those spots right there, and to make sure we have a place for the night.
All right. Relno will do the same. She'll take one of the tents and place some of her goods there before stepping out of the tent. And she looks around with her arms folded. Hey, Yalar, this place seems kind of peaceful. I kind of like it. I feel like I can leave my stuff at the tent and no one's going to snoop through it.
That's actually a nice feeling for a change.
Do you think people respect each other here because you don't know if a druid's watching? A squirrel could be a druid for all we know.
You know what? I never really thought about it that way.
Can you imagine sleeping outside, an owl staring at you? It's actually a druid?
Um,
And it's also making the sound. Hoo, 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 hoo.
I wish he never would have brought that to my attention.
Why?
Kind of sounds creepy. Not
I
gonna
know,
lie.
right? Hoo, 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 hoo. Just imagine just sleeping outside and there's like a group of owls turning their heads, looking down at you.
Oh man, I'd be creeped out.
Especially they could turn their heads 360 and shit.
Yep.
You don't know if it's an owl or if it's a person looking at you.
Yeah, man, that'd keep me up.
Can you imagine if you were actually a person, if you were a druid and you were shaped like an owl, you would actually have to make that sound. Hoo, 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 hoo.
Oh, I'd be disturbing people. I'd be up to no good.
Jeez.
So, as you occupy those tents, Rolno is going to look around. Well, I guess we talk to some people and find out more about this place, I guess. Maybe someone's going to know a faster route to Wildrun, maybe even to Rava's Grove.
That's a good point.
Should we go find Nomu and see if we can talk to somebody?
Oh, I'm sure you probably find the nearest meat cart or something like that.
She
They'll
looks
meet me
around.
there.
She's looking around, places a hand over her eyebrows, and she sees Nomu. Oh, he's over there. He's eating something out of that bowl. Of course
No.
he's eating. He's always eating.
Yes.
You calling him
No.
fat?
No. You just call him he's always eating. Am I wrong?
No.
He said no. So Rolno's gonna head over to Nomu. Does Yalar follow?
Yeah, he'll follow.
All right. As the two of them reach you, Nomu, you see they step up next to you. It's not night yet, but you do see their shadows because the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And as you look up, it's Rolno and Yalar, and she looks down at you. Nomu, what'd you have there? What are you eating?
Oh, he kind of licks the bowl a little bit.
This is a bowl of elk stew.
Elk stew. How much
Oh,
did
yes.
that cost you?
I gave her, they trade for goods, so I gave her 4 silver bolts.
Oh, they don't take gold here?
No.
Oh. Interesting. 4 bolts for stew? That's not bad. If it tastes
I'll
good.
say.
Does it taste good?
He's wagging his tail.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it definitely tastes good then. So we figured we'd ask some people here maybe if they could give us maybe a faster shortcut to Rava's or Wildrun or Rava's Grove or something.
He's
I'm sure
gonna ask
someone
the
here-
cook.
Oh, you're gonna ask the cook?
Yep. Well, since I'm sitting kind of next to her,
Yep.
So,
what was her name?
Tala.
You said Paula?
Tala. Talla.
So, Tala, is there any shortcuts to Rava's Grove or Wildrun?
Tala, as she's brewing some of the herbal teas, you can smell the herbs coming off of that brew. Smells outdoorsy and divine. But as she looks back at Noma, she looks at the Relano and Yalar. She says, "Oh, are these your party members? Your traveling companions?"
Yes.
Hmm. So it looks like you're going to Rava's Grove or Wildrun. So, truthfully, Wildrun is a bit to the east from here. When you travel south outside of Waybranch Crossing, you're gonna find that the path veers off, just like the name, branches. And to the east of Wildrun, you'll find Wildrun's a good 2 days or so from this current location. It's much closer than Rava's Grove, but truthfully, if you want to get there faster, there is a path you can take that's off the beaten road, but it could be dangerous if you're not too familiar or used to traveling the woodlands. Are you experienced in traveling in forests?
Yes, somewhat, yes.
Well, there are definitely signs that druids have marked on specific types of trees. It's something that you'll find here in Asia that you may not find too often in the other nations. I myself, I've been to many other nations to the north, Londe, Virabaldor, and neither one of them seem to have the same type of common courtesy that they have here in Asia. But if you ever find yourselves off the beaten path, the main paths, look for specific trees, oak trees. If you find an oak tree that has a rune imbued into it, it will begin to glow as you step close to it. You have to be within 2 or so feet away from it. I think maximum 5 feet. It will begin to glow as it is aware of any presence nearby, and it will give you the directions to the nearest abode. So if you ever get lost, look for the oak trees with runes on them, and they'll point you in the right way. But I'd say if you know how to travel around the forests, there is a path you could take off the main path that could get you a half a day there sooner.
Really?
Yes. She looks around. Unfortunately, I don't have any parchment or ink to write this down, but if you have any of those items, I could write it down for you.
Here.
He unfolds his blank parchment.
All right. She takes the parchment, and you have something to write something down. Do you have ink or quill or anything?
Actually, he does.
All right. So she takes it and she begins to draw not necessarily a map, but directions to the south, about 5 minutes out of Waybranch Crossing. She mentions that you'll find a collection of rocks and boulders off to the side with some bushes next to it. That is where you'll want to enter through, and you continue heading east. And if you follow the runes on the trees, it will take you to Wildrun slightly faster than the main path.
All right. This is
Uh,
good news.
I got a question.
What's up?
Um, how close to this eastern path will get us to the mist?
Excuse me?
The mist, the wailing mist.
Oh, you're talking about the Wailing Mist. My friends, you definitely want to avoid that place at all costs. This path, if you continue down this path, it will eventually lead to the Wailing Mist. But the Wailing Mist is further east than Wildrun. It'll probably take a couple more days to get to the Wailing Mist. So you can't accidentally get there. If you travel this path longer than 2 days, you've definitely missed Wildrun.
Oh, thank you. Duly noted. Thank you.
You are welcome. So where do you all come from? I've not seen your faces around here.
I'm from Bracana.
And you? She looks at Yalar.
I'm from the marshes.
And how about you, my dear? And Rono looks, I'm from Lande, a small town called Brunswick, actually. And as she says that, the human nods as she continues to cook her herbal tea. And Tala just smiles. Oh, interesting. I always get to meet my fair share of adventurers and travelers when I'm here at the Waybranch Crossing. So, do you all know much about the country of Aussie? Is this your first time here?
Yes.
Huh? And what about you? And Reno nods. Yep, my first time. Yalar's been through here before, though. She looks at Yalar. Oh, how many times have you been through the Ossia, Yalar?
Um, this is like kind of heading back, so technically second, but
Hmm.
I didn't really kind of took the sights in. I was just, you know, traveling.
Well, if with two of you being new, as I've mentioned, you'll find most of the residents and travelers and merchants here in Asa, we trade goods for goods. Not to say we don't accept gold. I'm sure there'll be people out there that can trade you goods for gold, but typically we're goods for goods here. So keep that in mind as you travel through Asia. And also, make sure not to disrespect nature here. As you know, we follow Aura, the goddess of nature, here in Asia, which makes the most sense. We are a forest nation. So just be careful of what you say and do that might harm nature itself. That is definitely frowned upon here by the druids. Do you know much about the druids here?
No, but what do I have to avoid saying?
Well, when it comes to saying things, it's pretty open. You can say whatever you really want, but when it comes to I don't want to say intimidating. It's not that intimidation's not allowed, but when it comes to threatening the forest and nature itself, you might want to be careful. Do not hunt here for fun. Only hunt if it is necessity for survival. That's something that many people tend to not understand that aren't from Asia. We don't look hunting for game here very um, it's frowned upon. That's all I'll say.
Duly
Oh,
noted.
oh, so not like the plains.
Definitely not like the plains. No. Yeah, this is nothing like Kurumo. The Kurumo Plains, where people go to hunt and whatnot, that's fine there, but not here.
Well, I only hunt for food.
And then that is totally okay. And I don't know how much you know of the druids here, but they are basically our protectors. They're they are called the branches of Ossia. I don't know how much you know of how large the nation actually is, but the nation is split into 5 quadrants. That each quadrant is guarded and governed by one of the branches of Ossia. You have the north, east, south, west, and then the central branch. Each branch is governed and I don't want to say ruled, but it is led by a warden, a druid warden of that branch. And each branch here in Ossia, they are separately from one another. They act out and have the different rules set between the 5 of them, but they are our protectors. So if you are to find trouble, be cautious that a druid has probably already heard of that trouble. And you are heading to Rava's Grove. You asked for some instructions to Rava's Grove as well. Is that the case?
Yes, if you could be so kind.
Well, truthfully, there's not really a major shortcut that you'll probably be able to find from here to Rava's Grove other than the main path. But I will tell you, Rava's Grove is very heavily protected. It's a very sacred city for obvious reasons. You know about the Vitalis tree, right?
I've heard.
You've heard. What about you, Ronald? Oh, I've heard all about the Vitalis tree. What about you, Ilar?
I heard rumors, but that's about it.
All right. Well, Tala looks at you. Well, Let me give you a quick history lesson since you're here in Asia. Nothing else that you're doing unless you have other things to tend to.
Man, I can go for a story.
Same.
Well, I'll make it short. The Vitalis tree, which you all know, is known as Rava. It stands at the heart of Asia like a living monument to creation itself. It's towering higher than the eye can see and older than any in history. Its silver-veined bark and softly glowing emerald leaves seem untouched by time itself. Ancient roots the size of city streets stretch deep beneath the earth, pulsing faintly with life. It is said that all living things in Tirastur were once born of Rava's seeds, including humans, elves, beasts, and anything else, and even the first whisper of the wind in the trees. To stand in Rava's presence is to feel the pulse of the world itself, slow and steady, like the breath of a sleeping god. It's protected by powerful druids, as I've mentioned, and it's watched over by the Viridian Enclave. And Rava is more than a tree. I need you to know this. It is a sacred relic, a divine mystery, and a symbol of life's fragile balance. As you all may have heard, there have not been any new seeds that have bloomed from its branches in many generations. And many believe that Rava isn't dead, it's just dreaming, waiting to be awakened by some sort of event. But Rava, also known as the Vitalis tree, is the only Vitalis tree that Tirastur has to offer. If you haven't ever heard of this, of how our origins came to be, it is the Vitalis tree, the primordial goddess herself, Reverie, which our world is named after. It is said that Reverie herself planted several Vitalis trees all over our world, one on each continent. The one in Asia is ours here in Tirastur. There was one that was planted in the nation or the continent of Ashai and other locations. But as I've mentioned, it is where gods themselves under the primordial were born through the seeds of the Vitalis tree. From all the races, whether you be elves, humans, orcs, we all come from the same tree, just different types of seeds. The only things that don't grow from the Vitalis tree are aberrations, magical beasts created by some magical means. But anything natural is said to come from the Vitalis tree. Do you see why Rava's Grove is heavily protected and considered ancient to all here in Tirastur?
Yes, I can see why.
So if you're going to Rava's Grove, be very mindful that it is an ancient, heavily guarded, and religious place. If you go there, you must follow many rules. For those that guard the Vitalis tree, they guard it with their lives, and they will not allow anyone to corrupt it or harm it, even if the seeds have not sprouted from it for many generations. May I ask why you're going to Rava's Grove? Is it to visit one of the, I should say not one of the most historical monument here in Tirastur? Or do you have other necessary means?
I'm here to visit, to see a wonder of the world.
Interesting. And what about you two? She looks at Relano and Yolar.
Just kind of here, just for the adventure, you know.
Relano looks kind of the same, except my destination is not really Rava's Grove. It's more so Wildrun. I'm just partying with these two for the travels. But if they help me get to Wildrun, I can help them get to Rava's Grove. It's more of a traveling party more than anything. Tala just smiles. Well, that's understood. And outside of character of Tala, as I've mentioned, everything revolves around the Vitalis tree. That is why Tirastur has life in it. So the general story to the Vitalis tree, aka Rava, is that once Reverie planted the Vitalis tree and it grew,
Mm-hmm.
it created the seeds, it sprouted seeds that created the gods of Tirister, as you all know them as the Octatic Divine and the Heptatic Evils. Both sects of gods, Octatic Divine or Heptatic Evils, they all belong to the same pantheon here in Tirister. Similar to the continent of Ashai, the first things to be sprouted off the seeds of the tree in Ashai were the Omni Kami. So each continent is gods were instructed by Reverie the Primordial herself to guard the tree and to use the tree to grow more life. Now, this is going to be why you'll find that many people are good and why many people are bad, because the gods take turns in trying to shape the type of seeds that sprout from the trees whenever it's their turn to play. And this is how humans, elves, and catfolk, and everything else, Shalonians, came to be. You're just created by one of the gods that happen to play with and alter the seeds of the tree. That is one thing that the Heptatic Evils and the Octatic Divine agree upon, is that neither side is ever going to bring harm to the Vitalis tree. Now, as I've mentioned, the tree itself has not sprouted seeds in many generations. It stopped creating new life. No one knows why. No one knows how. Many speculate that perhaps it will take some sort of catastrophic event to happen, or perhaps something else to bring it back. But the Druids of Ossia, they revere this tree with their lives. It is their sole purpose to guard this thing. And as I mentioned, Nomu, you're coming to Ossia to try and get the elixir of life.
He's
Do
trying to get
you?
that sap, that vial of
Yes,
sap.
exactly. Now, do you understand why the Vitalis tree offers this quote unquote elixir of life? It is
Mm-hmm.
the source of all life. So,
Yep.
this is why it's a sacred place. Most people, not just of Ossia, but all of Tirister, understand this. And as I've mentioned, when the dwarves were the first race to be created, followed by the elves and etc., the dwarves eventually left Ossia and founded their own lands in the northwestern mountains of Virbaldur. That's why Virbaldur is the first nation that is recorded in history of Tirister.
Mm-hmm.
After Virbaldur was created, the people of Ossia, a vast and many different people, due to the tree, humans, elves, primarily wood elves that stayed around in Ossia. But this is what the dwarves finding Virbaldur is what started the trend of other races and other people wanting to explore the vast land of Tirister, eventually creating other nations such as Drakmar, where many of the orcs have gone, or Estel Duin, where many of the elves that wanted to leave the woodlands ended up taking over. Whereas Estel Duin is mostly a mixture of high elves, wood elves, skyland elves, and many types of other elves. Ossia is mostly the home of the wood elves at this point. Many of the wood elves stayed in Ossia. I mean, they're wood elves. It makes sense. But this is just giving you some lore of the Vitalis tree, which is, again, many people call it Rava. But this place is also where Lord Butterfriend's going.
Yeah.
So keep in mind that some pretty major things can happen at Rava's Grove, depending on what you guys do. But I wanted to give you a bit of lore and feedback, or not feedback, story on the Vitalis tree known as Rava to give you a better understanding of the world that you're in, primarily Tirister. And as I think I've mentioned before in older episodes, this is why the continent of Ashai is in disarray, is because when Moritai, the god of the void, appeared in Ashai, it appeared where the Vitalis tree there was, destroying it.
Damn.
So Ashai no longer has its Vitalis tree, which means Ashai will never gain new people, or I should say new races of any kind. They no longer have their tree. So whatever races that live in Ashai are, it's going to be whatever stays there, unless you have other people that travel to Ashai to move there to, you know. But that's a big major sticking point with the Omni coming. That was a big hit for the gods of Ashai to lose their Vitalis tree. And that is something Tirister does not want to happen. So, with that being the case, Tala gives you some of that lore in person. I know I spoke out of character, but just imagine Tala saying that in character as well.
Oh, yeah.
So Tala looks at the three of you. So, do you have a better understanding now of Asya and the Vitalis tree?
I do. So this Rava is only dreaming then, not dead.
Many believe so, because when you come across the Vitalis tree, you'll find that its trunks, branches, leaves are all alive and well. You've seen a dead tree. The Vitalis tree is nothing like that, which is why many people think it's just in slumber.
It makes
not
sense.
Dead. And so you also know, the Viridian Enclave resides in Rava's Grove as well. As I've mentioned, the branches of Asya, the 5 governing clans of druids that watch over Asya, the Viridian Enclave houses 3 of the Grand Wardens. Think of them as the Grand Wardens of Asya. The wardens of each sect go to the Viridian Enclave for guidance. They are our most ancient Grand Wardens, and many people revere them as our leaders, per se. We're not governed by a king or by a government like Dorwyn or Lande or even Vir-Baldur. But the Viridian Enclave, they are ancient, well-knowing, and powerful. So, if you were to come across the Viridian Enclave, just know that you did something bad.
Good to know.
I definitely remember that.
Well, that's enough history lessons for now. I have other things to attend to. So unless there's any other questions you might have, I will continue brewing my tea.
He gives her bowl back
Oh, thank you, by the way.
and stands.
Thank you for the meal and the lesson.
Of course, you are more than welcome. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope you've learned much.
Oh, I did.
She nods with a smile, and she's going to continue on to her business, leaving the 3 of you to your own devices. What do you do?
So, did you get enough information on the shortcut to Wildrun?
Bruno looks at Yalar. I think we did. She wrote it down on your parchment, too.
Yep.
That's pretty cool that if you get lost, you just follow the oak trees that have runes on them. That's pretty considerate. I wish they did that in Lande. If you got lost in Lande and asked somebody, they'd be like, get lost.
Damn.
Depending on where you were in Lande, I guess. Well, at least that's what they say to me, because obviously I'm me, and the Supreme Goddess is always talking to me, and I tend to scare people. Maybe that's why they say get lost.
Yeah, probably.
Why? Do people usually give you directions in Lande?
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
I don't need directions. I'm Nomu.
What do you mean you don't need directions? How do you find your way around?
I wonder.
But can't that take longer than it needs to?
All right, look, I do ask for directions.
Okay, well,
Some people are nice.
well, I guess looks around. Guess I'll start unpacking some stuff and getting ready for the night. I mean, it is getting late. I mean, the sun's still out, but it should be setting here soon.
I guess we leave in the morning.
Yeah, unless Yalar has any objections to that. Yalar?
I really don't have any objections, but yeah, this is a nice place. I have to say,
Yeah,
very peaceful.
yeah, it sounds like no one actually lives here. People just take turns using the place. That's nice. And the fact that no one trashes it. Oh, that's something we probably want to do or don't want to do is trash the areas. No littering.
Fair enough.
I don't want to find myself in jail for littering or something.
Not here.
No, not here. Can you imagine? The guard? It's probably a grizzly bear.
Yes, I don't want to wrestle a grizzly bear.
No, neither do I.
Especially if... Never mind. I just
What?
heard of another bear. A wrestler.
A wrestling bear?
It went by the name of, what was it? It's at the tip of my tongue. Handy.
Handy. The bear wrestler.
Yes.
Where's he from?
I think it's, something to do with Galacron.
Galacron? But wait, the Dragon Lord? Wait. What's he have to do with Galacron?
I don't know much about them. Or about him. But you say bear, I don't want him to be the warden there.
Oh. Well, if he has anything to do with Galacron, that means he probably fought Galacron, which means he was probably part of the Galacron, the Lords of Galacron's End.
I don't believe that.
I don't know their names, but there's apparently a group of guys that fought Galacron, and they got land called Galacron's End. It's a town to the south in Zogun.
The story's probably fake.
It
Don't worry
probably
about it.
is. I can't imagine. Fighting a Dragon Lord? I can't imagine fighting one of those. You know how powerful that thing has to be? I can't even imagine how powerful a Dragon Lord is. It took 2 gods to take down Xandos, the Raging Fire.
Yes, which is the reason why I don't believe that kind of story.
Neither do I. Fake news.
Alright, show us where we're sleeping.
Yalar found some tents over there. She points to the outskirts of the area. Over there. That's your tent, Nomu. The one on the right.
Oh, good.
He's gonna shuffle over there.
Damn. Yalar, what are you gonna do?
I think I'm gonna, just talk to a few more people before heading to bed.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go unpack some things and prepare for bed soon. So I'll meet you over by the tents.
Noma wants to ask more questions, but his questions will get him more questions against him.
Oh.
He needs to know about the sap, but he can't ask about the sap.
I mean, he could. It's an innocent question.
Depending on who he asks.
That's true.
Or else he gets side-eyed.
That's true.
And there might be a druid listening. Yeah, he ain't saying nothing.
The druid's gonna be like, what?
Yep.
You trying to get the sap of the great Vitalis tree?
Oh man, they'd be on his ass.
It depends. Now, it is known that in the town of Rava's Grove, they will trade and sell the elixir of life to certain people, but it is hard to get. they're not against selling it, but it is rare. And they give it to those that are worthy and are deserving of it. As
Got
I've
it.
said, to revive someone here in Tirister is no easy feat. And one of the ingredients to doing so is the sap, aka the elixir of life.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of the many ingredients, and truthfully, the most important ingredient to bring someone back to life. But it is, of course, as you've said, sap from the Vitulus tree. They're
Yep.
not giving that away for free or to anybody.
Nope.
So that is why it is considered rare and difficult to resurrect someone in Tirister.
Yep. And since Damien ain't here with me, we can't steal it.
I don't know if you'd want to try to steal it, because if you got caught trying to steal it,
Which is the reason why I am glad Damien is not here.
that would be frowned upon quite a bit. You'd probably be killed for that.
Probably, yeah.
That's considered blasphemy here in Austin. Druids will not like you.
No.
Now, asking for it, they may not like that, but stealing, you've put your sentence down there.
Yep.
Wanted. There'll be a poster, wanted immediately, day of.
He said day of.
That squirrel is gonna see you try to steal it. It's gonna go immediately squeak out to its other druids. Poster there. Wanted.
Yeah, we have some speed artists getting my picture up.
Yep.
No, he ain't gonna steal it.
Oh, whoa. You say that now.
Mm-hmm.
How's Lord Butterfring? What's he doing here?
Oh God.
What's he doing here in Rob's Grove? What's he want?
I don't know. That's a good question. There's gotta be something selfish.
Yep. Exactly. So, Yalar, as you walk around, as Nomu and Relano begin to unpack some of their things, their tents, do you say anything, do anything to anyone?
Trying to think. It's not really getting a bad vibe or anything. Like he's gonna just head to bed.
All right. All right. You just head to your tent. Then Nomu, do you talk to anyone else?
Nope, he pretty much got all the information he needed
All right.
without looking too suspicious.
All right. So, with that being the case, well, no one finishes unpacking. And as she does so, there's a couple of tents near where your tents are. And one of the persons that you guys noticed when entering the area, the Waybranch crossing, it was the half-orc pilgrim that was meditating to himself.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But he finishes his meditation. He stands and he begins to walk towards his tent, which is near your guys's. Not too close, probably about 15, 20 feet away from yours.
Mm-hmm.
But as he's walking towards his, Relnoa sees that he's a pilgrim of some kind due to the clothing he's wearing. And she looks over at him. She goes, "Oh." She walks closer. Excuse me, I couldn't help but notice the clothing that you're wearing. Are you a pilgrim or a cleric by any chance? And the half-orc, he turns his head to look at Relanoa. He has this pale greenish tone to his skin with small, short tusks coming from the bottom of his mouth. And he has long, braided black hair. Looks at her and nods. Yes, I am Brother Caden, cleric of Aura. It is a pleasure to meet you. And who am I speaking with? Relanoa nods. I'm Relanoa Jams Cadenza. I am a cleric of the Goddess Supreme. And Brother Caden raises an eyebrow. Goddess who? Goddess Supreme. You've never heard of her? Which goddess are you talking about? Because I follow Aura, the goddess of nature. To me, she's the goddess supreme. And Rellano shakes the figure. No, 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 no. Trust me, I love Aura. Nothing against Aura, but she's not the goddess supreme. The goddess supreme is the goddess supreme.
Oh, she's trying to start a fight.
He Brother Caden, he looks confused, but he's a peaceful man. You're beginning to lose me. Are you talking about another goddess of the Octadic Divine? No, I'm talking about the goddess supreme. Are you talking about a goddess of the heptatic evils? No, I'm talking about the goddess supreme. I am completely confused. Oh, that's okay. Everyone's always confused when they talk to me. But I wanted to talk to you because you look like you're also a fellow member of the divine. Yes, strictly the goddess of nature. Aura, can I help you?
Mhm.
Yes, of course, Brother Caden. I'm actually here traveling, going to Wildrun. There's a particular person that I was told by the Goddess Supreme to meet and speak with. Her name, oh, what was it? Goddess Supreme? I can't remember what the name was. Goddess Supreme, can you tell me? She turns around and starts talking to herself. Brother Caden looks at her. Who are you talking to? The Goddess Supreme. Shh, 1 second. I'm waiting for her to talk back. Goddess Supreme, what was the name of that girl again? You told me to go. I can't remember. And Brother Caden, he is confused, baffled, doesn't know what to think. But before he turns around to walk away, Ronald turns around. Ah, that's right. It's Israel Oladi. She's a wood elf from Wildrun. Do you know the name? And Brother Caden stops and turns around. Oh, yes, actually, she is a wood elf from Wildrun, like you've said, a master in the music of harmony. Is there a reason you're looking for her? The Goddess Supreme told me I need to look for her. It's part of my pilgrimage, if anything. I figured someone like you would understand. Yeah, I understand pilgrimages and whatnot, but I don't know what this Goddess Supreme is telling you to meet her for. Well, that's all I know. I was wanting to know if you knew exactly where she is. Is she in Wildrun still? I believe she is. Yes, she's a resident of Wildrun, very loved and well known there. You can't just walk up to her house and expect an audience with her, though. Why not? The Goddess Supreme said I just have to tell her the Goddess Supreme sent me and she'll understand. Uh, all right. Well, you can't miss her. She lives in pretty close to the entrance of Wildrun. You, trust me, you won't be able to miss her residence. Okay. Well, do you have any words of wisdom while I'm here in Aussie? This is my first time here. Um, you have a lot of questions, don't you? Well, let me think here. He places a hand to his symbol, his holy symbol, which he has on his neck on a rope that's tied to an emblem of aura. In this case, it's a branch. And he begins to hold it as he prays for a moment. And as he's praying, he just looks over at Rillanoa. My words of wisdom. Don't forget these. Aura tells me the song in the leaves grows louder. It is not yours alone to hear. Do not forget this. Rillanoa looks at him. The song in the leaves grows louder. It is not yours alone to hear. I don't know what that means. Neither do I, but it is the words that Aura tells me to say. Heed it with caution. Something about you is odd. You don't seem evil to me, but you're very odd. Something tells me there's more to you than meets the eye. Don't know what it is, but Ossia can be a dangerous place for those that are not prepared for it. The woodlands is filled with danger, so keep your eyes peeled. And remember, if you ever get lost, follow the runes of the oak trees. And he turns around and begins to walk away. And Rillanoa's just rubbing your chin. The song of the leaves grows louder. It is not yours alone to hear. What kind of puzzle is that? She turns around and walks back towards Nomu and Yalar. Hey, guys, I that brother Caden told me that the song of the leaves grows louder. It is not yours alone to hear. Does that mean anything to you?
Probably something we all have to hear.
Yalar, have you heard that saying before?
I haven't.
I don't know what it means. Seems ominous.
I
He
don't
doesn't know
think
who the
it's.
Goddess Supreme is. Why does no one know who the Goddess Supreme is but me?
Did you confuse that poor man?
I didn't confuse him. I was just asking some questions, and then I needed to ask the Goddess Supreme something, so I started talking to her, and I confused him. And I said, I follow the Goddess Supreme. And he thought I was talking about another goddess from the Heptatic Divines or the Heptatic Evils. I told him, no, the Goddess Supreme is one and only, and that he follows the Goddess Aura. To him, the Goddess Aura is the Goddess Supreme. But I told him, no, that's wrong. The Goddess Supreme is the Goddess Supreme.
So you did confuse him.
Yes, I guess.
You probably frustrated the poor man.
Can you imagine this cleric's just like, what the fuck is she talking about?
Right. He's like, yeah.
You just imagine going to a devout like cleric or paladin and talk about a god that has never been heard of.
Yep.
Some
man.
some would take that as blasphemy, like the Eternal Eye.
Oh
Really?
man.
I mean, Rolando, there's not a whole lot of books or any type of history of the Goddess Supreme, is there?
No, not really. She says she doesn't write history books or anything like that. She comes to the followers that are worthy of her voice.
Well, that doesn't help.
Well, I'm not the one that does it. The Goddess Supreme does what the Goddess Supreme does for a reason. It's just my sole duty as a devout cleric to follow the words of my goddess.
And you're doing a great job.
That's right. I am doing a great job. Because
But-
I don't have to look crazy in front of all the people. I do it because I follow the wise words of the Goddess Supreme.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. You got to remember that since there's not a whole lot of written history or anything like that, much teaching, not a whole lot of people are going to understand. So you
Well,
got to
it's-
give some people a little slack.
I did give him slack. It's not like I made fun of him for not knowing who the Goddess Supreme was.
You didn't?
No, I didn't. Why would I make fun of him for not knowing?
I don't know.
But I have to ask everybody because what if someone else has heard the voice of the Goddess Supreme? That would mean they know.
Have you ever met anyone else that's heard the voice?
I have not.
Oh.
But that doesn't mean there isn't.
Oh, I didn't say that.
But
Hey,
I
you
mean,
be careful. One day, one of you might hear the voice of the Goddess Supreme.
Maybe. We'll cross that bridge.
well, if I'm worthy enough.
If you're worthy, only if you're worthy. Which means you're not worthy, which means I'm better.
You better than normal?
Yes, of course. At least in the eyes of the Goddess Supreme.
All right, fair enough.
All right. Well, I guess we got enough information that we can get while we're here at the Waybranch crossing. I do like this place, but we'll be leaving in the morning. About 2 days, under 2 days, if we follow that path that Tala told us.
Yep. We should get there smoothly.
Like I said, I don't know what I'm going to talk to Israel Aladi about, but Goddess Supreme sends me her way. So I'm hoping it's something good.
I'm sure it will be.
I don't even know if she'll talk to me. She doesn't know who I am.
Then introduce yourself.
I will. And afterwards, then we can go to Rava's Grove. If you want to wait for me. I don't know what this mission's gonna take me on, but it might be longer than a day if you guys don't mind waiting for me. But if you decide to continue onward to Rava's Grove without me, I understand.
We came this far.
I'll leave that up to Nomu. His tag along.
We came this far. I can stick with you.
Sounds good. Well, if that's the case, I'll travel with you to Rava's Grove. Deal's a deal.
Well, thank you.
Plus, I have a feeling the two of you are going to need a cleric around anyways. After the combats that we've seen, I don't know if the two of you would make it without me.
I find that offensive.
It's not offensive. It just means you need a healing here and there. What if you get sick? What if you catch a cold? What if you get poisoned by a snake? What if you get stoned by a wyvern or something? You need me to heal you.
That is true. I didn't particularly enjoy being almost turned to stone.
Yeah, see? I don't see either one of you casting wonderful heals that the God Supreme allows you to cast.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, see? I'm not saying that you're bad travelers. It just doesn't hurt to have someone around that knows the medicine and healing attributes of magic.
Well, yeah. I'm no more anyway. I'm supposed to get in trouble.
Well, I don't want you getting in trouble in Rava's Grove now. Now, I'll travel you to Rava's Grove, but I'm not trying to break any laws now, Nomu.
Oh,
Me neither.
you should be saying stuff like that out loud, you know. Never know who's listening.
Believe me, I don't want to get in trouble.
You should word that a little better. You should say, kind of, trouble kind of sticks to you
Like fur.
yeah, or like some tar, or thick mud.
Disgusting.
He's gonna go lay down.
You know, it actually helps your pores.
You got pores?
Pores, like your skin.
I
No.
pit.
You know what? Never mind. You wouldn't understand.
I wouldn't.
Closes up his tent.
Close it, zips it up.
Yep.
Zips it up mid-sentence.
Yeah.
Rude as hell.
Yep. He's done.
Man, but you know what? I really don't want to meet his body.
Yeah, he does
His,
say they're
his
troublemakers,
previous-
doesn't he?
Yes.
They are called. He calls them Cat and Co. Do you think he calls them Cat and Co. because he thinks he's the main character?
I don't know. Maybe. But
They do sound like a troubling group of individuals, especially this
yes.
Damien fella. He keeps saying if Damien was here, they'd be doing some crazy things.
Yeah, that statement sounds like a wild one.
He does sound wild, and there's some other ones in there too. Maybe one day we'll meet them. I don't know.
Oh boy, I hope. Oh boy.
Well, Yalar, I think I'm gonna wrap up for the rest of the evening and get some rest. We've been traveling for quite some time now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed
All
here
right.
shortly.
All right. Well, if you do anything, don't cause any trouble. And she goes into her tent, closes it up, leaving Yalar to his own devices.
He's
Yalar, are you doing anything?
he's just gonna take some rations and kind of cook it over the open fire.
Okay.
Kind of take in a little bit of scenery before he heads to bed.
Okay. As you do that, many of the people that are in the area begin to do the same. They begin to go into their tents, resting up for the night. Now, this place isn't necessarily guarded, quote unquote, by like guards or anything, but you just don't know. There could be druids that take turns and shifts watching over this place. You never know. But it's out in the open. There's no guards standing around that you're aware of, and everyone just sticks to themselves as they go to their tents, preparing to rest for the evening. And as you are preparing to enter your tent, there is particularly some sounds coming off in the distance that are all mostly nature. You hear some crickets and some birds of some kind and whatnot in the distance, but it seems rather peaceful for the most part. And right before you do enter your tent, make me a perception.
Well, of course gonna put out the fire and all that stuff too
Okay.
before he
Mhm.
does that. Perception.
A 17.
Nice.
As you put the fire out and you prepare to enter your tent, you do hear and see it is dark now that you put the fire out. There's not very many fires that are still lit in the camp area, but off in the distance near the opening of Waybranch Crossing, you do notice there is a figure, if not two or three people, walking into the crossing to also partake in its peaceful surroundings. But before you step into your tent, you take a glance over at who they might be. One of them is holding what looks like a torch, and another also has some magic that they have casted, dancing lights, which just has 4 orbs that fly around this person, giving them a form of light within 20 feet of the orbs. But they don't necessarily see you, but you see them because of their lighting. But what you do see with a 17, one of them is heavily armored in what looks like plate armor, full plate. The other two are clothed, nothing heavy, at least not that you can tell. They have robes covering whatever they may be wearing underneath. You can't tell. But the one in heavy armor, there is a particular insignia on him that he has on this tabard that he's wearing. And when you look over, you see the symbol of an eye that looks very familiar.
Oh no.
Do you do anything?
Ah, shit. I knew this piece was too good to be true.
Um, he's going to
Rob said, "Oh no."
Yep. Oh no.
he's going to try to hide, make it look like he went in this tent, but he's going to hide and kind of watch our area a little bit.
Are you? All right, make me a stealth check.
Uh,
All right, a 13's not bad. You successfully move around your tent and do what you're trying to do by hiding. I'll say they don't notice you by any means, but they enter the camp. They're not here, at least from what you're seeing. There are a couple of people still out and about that haven't entered their tents yet that nod to the 3 of the individuals that stepped in. But none of the 3, especially the armored one, doesn't seem to be causing any trouble or threatening anybody. They nod back to some of the people and they begin to set up camp themselves. Do you do anything else?
he, we're just going to keep watch on him, basically. He's not going to take a rest now. He's just going to keep
Mhm.
Well,
keep an eye on
for the
on him.
first 30 minutes to an hour or so, they just set up camp and pitch up a fire and they begin to cook their own food. And the 3 of them sit there talking to one another, minding their business. They're quite a distance from you, but they haven't looked your way necessarily. Well, they have looked your way. You've seen them looking around, scouting the area, but they're not asking people questions. They're not causing trouble.
Yeah.
Do you continue to watch over them for the rest of the
Yeah,
evening, or
he's not going to say anything to the group, but he's going to keep an eye on them.
all right? So as you keep your eye on them for, I'm assuming till they go to sleep or something, or are
Yeah,
you trying to stay
yeah.
up all night?
Uh, at least till he goes to sleep.
Okay. Well,
Till they go to sleep.
as you watch over them again, they don't do anything. They seem to respect the rules of the Waybranch crossing. No trouble comes your way, and with the night moving forward, they go to bed themselves in their tents, not causing any trouble. Again, being respectful of the rules in place here. And with that being the case, the night does go by. Yalar, I'll leave it up to you if you want to say you kind of try keep an eye out throughout the night, or if you go to bed, because that's going to determine if you get a short rest or a long rest.
He's going to take a short rest.
All right, so you only get 4 hours of sleep instead of 8. Now, fortunately for you, you haven't lost any HP or used any spells, so it doesn't necessarily affect you. Other than roleplay purposes, you'll be a bit tired the next day because you have been traveling for the last day or two. So, with that being the case, we'll go ahead and say that this ends this episode of Taverns and Caverns, Path B.
Oh man. Fucking eternal eye showing up.
Yeah, I knew it was too good to be true.
I
As
mean,
far as the piece.
I mean, they're not doing anything because Relano is zipped up in her tent.
Yeah, they didn't see her.
Yep, they ain't see her. Can't abduct her.
Right. But who knows what's gonna happen if they do see her? Who
Yep.
knows? Who knows? I said you ain't done with them.
Nope.
So we will see what happens next time on Taverns and Caverns. Thanks again, everyone, for listening to another episode of Taverns and Caverns. This is your Dungeon Master, Haphazard DM. You can find me on Twitter at HaphazardDM.
This is Robert Jones. I play Nomu the Monstrous.
You can find me on YouTube, Trubone, Trubone.
This is Rodimus. You can find me on Twitter at Rodimus7901 or at Blue Sky at Rodimus83.
All right. Those are our players for this season of Taverns and Caverns, Path B. And don't forget to check out the Taverns and Caverns Patreon for exclusive content that you won't want to miss. Until next time, guys, on Taverns and Caverns. Take care.